All right, everyone, we are back from our break. Raven will be back in a bit here, but we'll pick up with a well, our kindred are in a hallway here outside of this feeder area, going into the test chambers, and there is no overt threat. There's not a standing guard here. There's nothing that is apparent beyond just some warmth coming from this lit up area, talking about a contamination zone. Though there are some signs here that they can go through one set of doors to get to the info area, or the another set of doors down a hallway that would take them to a personnel area. There we go. Sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know, Coffee Cat. So, with the four of you all here in various states of scratched to missing a limb, uh, where are you going? What are your thoughts?
Ivy is going to the information room, assuming that there are computers for her to hack into.
Clyde is fiddling with the gun, cocking it and preparing it. You see he's like dazed out, almost like he's locking in. He just turns around. He starts heading towards the personnel room.
You want to start going towards personnel?
Mm-hmm.
Choices? Talk? Convincing? Rose? Or pitch?
Clyde, I think any personnel that were here have probably dipped by now. Do you mind
I'll end up
waiting just a few minutes and, I just want to make sure Ivy's not in any danger and then I'll go with you.
I'll end up looking after the man. You end up keeping an eye on her. She's more useful in that particular sector of information anyway. And I trust you to be able to look after her in the event of anything going sideways. As for Mr. Clyde, I imagine no amount of dissuading will end up stopping him from heading down that route. So I will accompany him.
Yell if you need me.
Most certainly will. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Follow Ivy.
Okay. The party splits. Ivy and Rose go through the doors to the info wing, and Mr. Pitch and Clyde make their way down the hallway towards a personnel area. Well, oh, what?
Go ahead.
Okay. So what we'll do is, since Mr. Pitch is going with Clyde to make sure he doesn't go in half-cocked. Although I'm kind of curious, you only have one arm. How are you getting your gun ready with the three bullets left in it?
What one hand's rack the slide? That's easy enough to do.
Mm-hmm.
You can do a one hand rack slide.
Bracing it against your leg and your teeth.
No.
You're like, I would show you, but I don't think that's TOS.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, can I show you? Because I can do it.
I've seen it before as well. Yeah, it's just something, like if it's just a little glog, it's something you can do pretty easily.
Okay. Keep your secrets off camera then. I'm going to take you down a hallway now. All right, so we're going to go to personnel. As you two begin walking down out of this area through another set of doors, one that does appear to have been bludgeoned from within, and has a dent in it. What is your conversation or your two thoughts?
Mr. Pitch, you might notice that he's got a grim, dark look on his face. And it's very much the look of a man who's, like, on the warpath, essentially.
Yeah, that's about what I figure. One of the first things I end up coming to know is certain things are just going to end up happening, whether you like them or not. Many people try and end up avoiding it. For the most part, I end up talking the way out. I know better. Much as I could end up potentially stopping Clyde right now. Is it in my best interest? Certainly not. Is it in the best interest of the Camarilla? Certainly not. And are we going to be able to dissuade him to allow him to hold off on his vengeance? Certainly not. So, best to end up going along with the tide, lest you be swept away by it. I end up walking alongside. Mr. Clyde, I imagine that you are focused and ready to end up doing what your instincts are telling you. Given what it's already cost you, he looks at the stump and Clyde's indignation.
1 year. 1 whole year. I've been used like some kind of guinea pig. She wants to go out here and tell me I gotta get down on my hands and knees just to preserve the rest of y'all. Indignation being pumped like some kind of fucking latrine. Indignation of being tossed around and toyed with, ragdolled by whoever the hell she deems. I want to put a bullet through her skull. And it's gotta be the last damn thing I do in here.
Let's hope not. Don't want you to end up making sure that it is the last thing that you end up doing, especially in here. Cam has interest in your here getting topside. That's my job in this equation. The sooner you end up getting this out of your system, the better, and as far as I'm estimating. I will end up saying this, however. I did not expect you to be that merciful in your given state. I'm very touched by your want to end up causing this to be as quick and as painless as possible, despite the strife that you have found yourself under this past year.
Oh, I won't lie. I won't lie. I thought that maybe it might be a good idea to just drag her on back. Let her have the most immediate ends, and let that big soldering stone known as the sheriff go ahead and tear her to bits as he sees fit.
But you want the personal touch to this. And you feel like you might be robbed of the opportunity should you end up allowing your wants and needs to be exercised. So best to do it personal now. That about your thinking?
Yeah. That's right.
Well, Mr. Klein, about far be it from me to step between a man and his needs. As far as I'm concerned, this is your call. I'm simply here to assist you in that matter. However, if I may, personal vengeance aside, and given all you've gone through, what's your plans for the future after the quick pull of a trigger, sudden splash of blood, and post-homicidal depression.
Well, continue as the rest of you suggested. Get on out. And I suppose from there, the tower will do with me as it sees fit.
Yeah, but what if you gave yourself a bargaining chip? Just thinking out loud.
You see, you catch his interest. He peeks at you. All right, Mr. Pitch. I'll play ball.
You want to end up seeing her here brought to some semblance of which you might be able to call justice, vengeance, say what you will, however you need to frame it. But that's what you want right now. In the immediate. But in the longer term, you're in the Camarilla City. And right now, the Camarilla has gone to great lengths to try and end up excising you from your predicament. Offering her up with the chance to end up getting their own intel. The very reason I imagine they want us to pull you out, and you being one of the individuals solely responsible for that. A nice bonus and a nice show of initiative as you're clearly rip-raring and ready to go. Seems to me that you can not only end up exercising your vengeance with your previous train of thought, but also be able to end up putting yourself in a better situation as to, I don't know, be able to end up finding yourself in the good graces of not only court, but as, dare I say, a bit of a legend. After all, somebody who's not only survived within the Second Inquisition's good hospitality for a year, but in doing so struck them down and brought them before the court to see the prince's justice. I imagine a man like you might appreciate such a story, and for it to be told ad nauseum to the good graces of the court.
Oh shit, you just basically pinned his entire ambition. Okay.
The hot head in the wet blanket.
Yeah,
go
you
down
did.
a haunted corridor. Yes.
God,
Make a name for myself. That was literally his ambition.
God, I love playing Mr. Pitch on occasion.
Derek doing what Derek does best.
Well,
he stops and.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Clyde at that point he does stop his march a little bit and lowers the gun. I'm good with the talking.
Well, thankfully, you gotta find somebody who can.
If I owe you one later, think you could help me out with that?
If we're going to be talking about boons, I'd rather end up doing it when we're not both that large. No sense giving you incentive to end up being able to shuffle off this immortal coil because it makes you avoid the equivalent of the IRS. Besides,
All right.
I don't need to have anything formal. You'll know. I'll know. Figure out what kind of man you are, Mr. Clyde. He gestures for the hallway. To the personnel corridors.
Yep.
Clyde continues his march.
The door that has the bulge in it, a big indentation from the other side, only lifts up about halfway to the point where it can't go into where it's supposed to slide. But that is enough that both of you can crawl underneath it to continue.
I will do so first, as I am the one who's more likely to be able to end up handling any negativity that may end up accosting us on the other side of that half door.
Okay. So you do so, and the hallway past this bulkhead, blast door, it is as you see here. There's some sort of a firefight. There are things that look like they were destroyed, maybe by errant fire. You are seeing some blood. Not a lot, but you are seeing some blood as well. You're not seeing any corpses, however. But something did happen here that left the rest of this corridor from this bulkhead into the personnel section in a really bad state.
Well, ain't that just unfortunate? I'll keep an eye out as we end up going along the corridor, specifically to any of the firearms that may have been left over by the recently deceased. However, that does end up making me ask a question. Are these bodies in full-on rot at this point?
There are no corpses yet. You're not seeing any.
Okay.
There's a little bit of blood. The blood doesn't look like dried and scabby.
Which, if we have indeed gone past a little bit of time, makes me wonder. He looks back at Day Devlin's phone. Continues onward.
I do need Clyde and Mr. Pitch to both make a humanity roll, please.
Well then. 2 out of 7.
Humanity, there it is. Plunk. That's 3.
You cross the threshold from that bulkhead and you see this and you start walking. Both of you, again, you have that moment of feeling detached and out of it. You're not spinning. This isn't a vacuum. Your bodies go through a weird restart phase. You've managed to not collapse, and neither of you are in torpor or some sort of unconsciousness. But, man, that must have been a long blink or something, because as you did, you got to it before I did, Mr. Pitch. You look at your phone, and it says it's 2 o'clock now.
That is unfortunate.
Now, when you last checked it, I mean, it was weird that it was noon on the 8th. And it only took you, I mean, you even looked at your phone. You spent 2 laps around, took you 15 minutes walking and talking. There's no way that it was an hour and a half going through the tests afterwards. And you weren't walking through an hour and a half worth of corridors from that area where you split off from Ivy and Rose.
Don't like what I'm picking up. Unfortunately, outside of a odd bit of circumstance, doesn't end up changing nothing as far as having Mr. Clyde be able to live up his legend, shall we say.
But the two of you press on. Clyde, maybe bolstered by your intense emotion, you were not as afflicted as Mr. Pitch was. Not that either of you were, delirious or zonked where you have to, like, fireman carry or princess carry each other down the hallway. But you both did feel the that wave of lethargy as your bodies reset. It's kind of a weird thing being conscious. It'd be like feeling or watching yourself fall asleep and wake up from within and without at the same time. It's a kind of a bodily awareness that is just, it would have been foreign to you as a mortal, let alone whatever happens to your bodies as a vampire. But as you continue on, you do eventually hear noises ahead. It sounds like some kind of shouting and a couple gunshots that would be ricocheting from like around the corner.
Well, time to head into action, Mr. Clyde. Look forward to you seeing something outside of a test.
Okay.
Hopefully, they're wearing something your size.
Yeah, I sure hope so too. Tired of flapping in the wind.
Well, I think it would be a shame to end up knowing that you were doing such a marvelous job in your birthday suit.
So preemptively, I'm gonna make sure that Fleetness is activated again, just in the event that I shall need it, because I sense I shall.
Yes.
Did I just get another success? These rouse checks, man. All right. So Clyde is gonna round the corner, and he like goes full commando to the best of his abilities, hugging the walls, making sure that like
too,
yeah. That was dumb. All right.
There's nothing for your clothes to be caught on.
Yeah, precisely. He is going to try and follow the noises, the terms, see what's going on without necessarily making himself known, and keeping close to the walls, his firearm ready.
Okay. Wait, so you're doing this stealthily, or you're just gonna like pop around the corner and shout, "What's up, bitches?" or something like that?
I'm doing this stealthily first.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a dex stealth then. And Mr. Pitch, are you wishing to stay behind and or keep up stealthily?
I'm walking along, maybe a little ways, but I walk in like I own the place.
Pardon? Okay.
Oh. So I only got one success, but main thing is I'm trying to scope the situation.
Okay. So you're going ahead first. Mr. Pitch is slightly behind you with a confident stroll. And before Mr. Pitch is on the scene, you're not like half a mile ahead of him or anything, but this would be the scene that you see first, Clyde. So should there be a reaction, you can get a reaction in before Mr. Pitch is fully there to whatever, participate as well.
Noted.
You see a very large room that is filled with a great many parts of people. Big machinery, some sort of a machine. Looks like it might go on rails that lead outside through these very large blast doors. And in particular, simply because you would be more familiar, there is you see Pal. Pal has run in from another door and has about 10 other security personnel, people in body armor, helmets, rifles, the whole deal. Pal runs in and is looking around. You also make out the shape of someone who you've never seen his face before, but there's no way that someone like this couldn't be Sarge, who is leaning against a piece of machinery and kind of slouched over. This is your first dibs scene. Pal and 10 security officers over here running in, and the figure that every sense in your body is telling you that this has to be Sarge, who is slouched against a machine over here, and there are many dead bodies in this room.
And there's about 10 armed personnel as well.
Yeah, they are armed and armored. They're on lookout as well. So some are looking back in the passage from which they came. Others are taking point, so they're very actively scanning. But they've just arrived, so none are looking in your direction yet. However, they might fan out and begin a sweep or something. They just haven't yet in this moment.
Okay. Is there anything that looks like it'll explode if I shoot it? Do we have a red barrel anywhere?
Nothing that is an overt red barrel. There might be things that can do that in here. This is a very large place. It looks like maybe something in this storage container, or there's other things that this must be some sort of a cargo bay or something. There's these rails that go, through the door, or like kind of under through the doors, the big blast doors here. So there might be supplies of some kind in this room, but on first blush, without investigating, really looking through it, there's nothing that is the large, like, fire symbol, or, it shows like hazmat stuff, and the flammability score on the diamond is like super high.
All right. I'm known. They all know what I look like. They don't know who the fuck Mr. Pitch is. So I think how I'm going to handle this is I'm going to let Mr. Pitch do the talking. And if anyone so much as tries to fire at him, I'm going to dome Sarge. And that's following rapid reflexes, celerity with that, as well as any fleetness that I have for the reaction of it.
All right. Mr. Pitch, you approach the scene. You're a little bit behind. Clyde, you're keeping your composure. Clyde
will very quickly, just kind of like whisper, like 10 guards.
He nods. And just starts walking on down the hallway, like as if none of this is a bother. Doesn't try and hide his presence. In fact, makes it very clear he is establishing himself as he removes his hat.
Okay.
Then, my, now this is a sight.
Before you get your line in, I have some NPC dialogue. But
By all means.
so hold that, but Pal runs over, very deftly, not slipping in entrails or other things here. Briskly runs over and is kneeling next to Sarge. For anything that is happening in the exchange, if you want to wait and listen in from a distance, Clyde, or Mr. Pitch, I suppose, too. Although if either of you are dedicated on running in or strolling in, you don't have to. But there is a moment where these two are going to say something. You can either let me say it to myself in my imagination, or you can do something to interject. But right now, none of the 10 guards have seen either of you, nor these two characters.
Sure, I will listen in.
Yeah, I'll listen as I'm walking forward. Why not? They're clearly the ones that are garnering the most attention in the room right now.
Okay, so Mr. Pitch, you are walking forward?
Yep.
Okay. Clyde, go ahead and give me a wits awareness then.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a specialty here, surveillance. Does that factor in for awareness?
If you were lurking, or in the case of, as Mr. Pitch is walking forward, he's going to make himself known, you don't really have time to insinuate yourself here to surveil.
Okay.
This is more, I'm trying to pick up whatever I can, but Mr. Pitch is going to make himself known. You don't have the opportunity to let things play out and get that bonus.
Sure. I just wanted to see. 3 successes.
Okay. What you are able to make out, and it looks like Mr. Pitch had 1. Both Mr. Pitch and Clyde hear the accented voice of this commander say that he kind of almost waves dismissively, "I'm all right." Maybe through a coughing fit or something, you're not able to understand much more, Mr. Pitch, as you're walking forward. Clyde, you, before what's going to happens, you are able to make out a command from Sarge to Pal to go secure the computer lab. And it is... There might be a little bit more that's not outside this direct message, but that's what you glean, is that Sarge has told Pal and this squad of 10 to go secure the computer lab. As Mr. Pitch is continuing to walk forward, there is a ruckus that neither of you need to roll anything to hear. Sir! By the hallway! And the guns are training onto Mr. Pitch.
Good evening. He removes his hat as he keeps walking forward. This seems to be a fine mess y'all found yourselves in.
And this is when the bullets start flying.
Wow. Right out of the gate.
Oh, well, you don't look like them. And you're just walking out of a hallway, so...
Okay, I'm Doman Sarge.
Okay.
What are you doing, Clyde?
I'm Doman Sarge.
You're gonna
He doesn't get to
sprint
make
forward?
any orders anymore. Yeah. No more
Okay.
leader. No more command. This is their punishment. I'm gonna rouse for that. And this is gonna be a firearms check, I'm pretty sure. My rouse checks are saving my life right now.
You must have some super-powered blood in you.
I must. Wow. Okay. So let me see. Let me double check. So fleetness does not add into dexterity tests for combat. They can be used for defending with associated pools, though. The rapid reflexes is for minor actions. It also prevents from taking a penalty when I have no cover during a firefight. So firearms dex and add 2.
You're firing from back here, or were you running up on him?
I was. It wasn't necessarily that I was running up. It's that I am just doming the Sarge. I would round the corner right behind Pitch and then dome the guy. If he's not going to give us time to actually talk, I'm not giving him time to talk ever again.
Okay.
And I can't survive this barrage.
So what we will do is go ahead and all right. So you're shooting from a little ways off. You're not on him.
Mm-hmm.
You got your gun. So he's also prone. Pal is beside him.
Sorry, pal.
Tell you what, just roll Dex firearm straight up and let's see what happens.
Okay. Does the rouse even it out, or do I add that? Because I.
Go ahead and add that in.
Okay. I accept. And I'd like to willpower reroll 3
Ooh.
dice.
For all of you watching at home, that's a third of Clyde's willpower used.
Yeah. He ain't got a lot.
Big willpower energy here.
So that's 4 successes.
Okay. Pew, you don't hit Pal. You do shoot Sarge. Pal turns from Sarge, because while the other soldiers are the ones who Mr. Pitch walked in, he started talking, these guards are getting ready to open up. Pal at least turns over, or like turns his head to look over in your direction, and
No, clarification, Maddie.
Mm-hmm.
Clyde doesn't open fire until he sees these guys start firing.
It's gonna happen.
Okay.
Yeah, this. So it's fine that this is going on as well. This is breaking out into a firefight here.
Okay.
As the bullets start to fly, you let yours loose. Pal looks over. You and Mr. Pitch, you can hear this as well, but in his accented voice, "Blondie, no!" And then the assault rifles start opening up, and I have.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pitch.
It is what it is.
Oh, when I close to reset, I need to get my. I have to open this back up here. I'll pop this out. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 shots are going to start. Mr. Pitch, I don't believe. I don't know. Do you have anything in particular to get out of the way of the hailfire here?
No, I have a athletics and a dex total of 2, and it's -2 because I am not in cover.
Yep.
So it's just straight up. That's how much. Plus the weapon damage itself. So.
All right.
Let's see here. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 points, and I guess it depends on what they're hitting me with. But if it's anything better, higher caliber than a 22, there ain't much I can do.
No, it's higher than a 22 since these are military grade rifles.
Then your call.
Mr. Pitch, you are starting to get lit up. So Clyde, beside you, Pitch is getting fired on. His nice suit, well, for as much as it has survived to this point, is getting custom tailored. And the Vitae that was on the inside of him is now starting to be on the outside of him. You heard Pal seemingly recognized you, yelled out Blondie no. You shot Sarge. The 10 that were over here are continuing to shoot, and like you presume they're going to.
Okay.
Their rifles are up and they're walking forward.
I have.
So total damage at that point would be 4 plus and 3. Yeah, okay. Then that is full torpor.
Fuck. I have one more trick up my sleeve. Do I have an option to make another turn?
Well, yeah, I'm coming back around and asking you, what are you doing in this moment? It doesn't look like they're
Okay.
going to stop shooting.
Okay.
They're still coming this way. What's going to happen
I
next?
have what Clyde is gonna do is he's gonna use that fleetness and he's gonna zip on over to the sergeant. He's gonna put the gun right next to his skull, and he's gonna activate Daunt. And the whole purpose of this is to say, stop your fire, or he's dead.
Okay. Meanwhile, Ivy and Rose, you chose to go to the info section. The door opens, and you two are stepping into your own hallway. Is there anything in particular you two would like to talk about while you are walking?
Nothing really. Ivy is focused on just trying to get this done.
All right. Rose, any questions?
When we get in there, this isn't really my forte, but you tell me what you want me to do and I'll assist. If you need me to pull hard drives, look for something, you direct me.
I just mainly need you to keep a lookout.
That I can do.
A lot of this is going to be internal stuff, so no pulling hard drives just yet. And Ivy's continuing on.
Well, unlike the boys, your corridor is actually rather pristine. Very brightly lit. No errant fire. No signs of blood or conflict. You do see that, cables of different kinds. You've seen it elsewhere, but there's something distinctive about this hallway. It really does separate it from the other parts of this facility that you've been to. Now, are either of you moving stealthily, or are you moving purposefully? Are you just walking and you're going to go where your feet take you?
If there's like no offshoots, Ivy's just going straight
Okay.
until she sees anything saying otherwise. That's just where she's gonna go.
Okay. Rose, you're following Ivy?
Following her lead, keeping an eye out for surveillance equipment.
Okay. While there's no branching paths, there is a corner that you turn. So presumably you might be going around something or whatever. It takes a turn. And then as you do, there are two figures at the end of this short hallway. And let's see. Oh, I have some random tokens I can put over here. There are two soldiers in body armor with military grade weapons. The door behind them is open. Pardon me. The door behind them is open, and they spot you, and you spot them. One puts his fingers to his ears. Contact, ma'am. What would you like to do?
Trying to think of what we can do.
Yeah, I think as soon as Rose sees them, like she's kind of had enough of this. She's just gonna run forward and try to take them out of commission.
Okay. You want to sprint forward?
If there's any place for Ivy to step behind, that's what she's gonna do. She's not a fighter.
Okay. There's a corner you can go behind.
Yeah, that's what she's gonna do.
Because the two are guarding a door, and they're there. You walked around a corner, they saw you, you saw them, and there we go. All right, well, let's have this go into a... I forgot what initiative was. I'm looking it up. It was something plus something. There you go. An extended test. There we go. All right, give me a composure plus awareness, Rose, as you're looking to rush into combat. All right, well, As you begin to rush forward here, we're going to say that the gentleman on this side is going to go first. You go, and then the gentleman on this side will get to go. You already began to run up, and you're halfway down the hallway here. We'll say that I don't know. You're about you just got a little jaunty 20 feet to get to them, and one is going to open up on you. All right, so this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes with his weapon against you. Are you wanting to eat that and keep going? Do you want to dodge out of the way? What would you like to do here?
If it's possible to dodge, I'd like to try to avoid being hit if I can.
Yep, one moment. Defending against ranged attacks is usually done with Dex plus Athletics, representing the ability to keep moving and make oneself a hard target. Pitched firefight between two attackers can also be resolved as an opposed conflict, though you're going in for the melee here. As you have no cover, the dice modifier is -2. So Dex plus Athletics -2.
Can I use one of my can I use my fickle favor to bring that to a -1 instead of a -2?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
All right. Did that include it?
It did, yeah.
Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tier 2. So that is going to be for 1 second. This is +4. Add the weapon's damage rating to the margin on the winning attack roll for the total damage inflicted. Okay. So I won by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 2. So I won by 3. That is going to be 6 then. No, that's a heavy gunshot. That's going to be 7. And then, do you have any way of soaking or mitigating damage?
Nope.
Okay. You are lit up by this gun, and I believe that's going to send you into torpor. As Ivy's around the corner. You're laying down. Ma'am, no, wait! And the door closes with an audible clang. Ivy.
Sorry, Dagger knocked over a bunch of shit. Alright. Are they still firing or have they stopped?
One lit up rose. They stop firing. There's a ma'am, no wait, and then a metallic clang.
She's gonna peer around the corner, see what happened.
One's gonna start poking Rose with the end of his rifle.
Damn. She's not a fighter. She's going to pop Silence of Death and try to make her way back down the hall the way they came.
Okay.
So Silence of Death just lets me walk silently.
Are you going to the personnel room then?
She's at least trying to get back down the hallway until she can figure out what she can do in this situation, because she's not a fighter. She doesn't have her gun on her anymore, because I think that's the one that Clyde and Mr. Pitch were using.
Yeah. All right. You start stalking back. I mean, there's really nowhere to go in the hallway except the direction it takes you. While you are silent, maybe that's to your advantage, as from behind you there is one set of boots and clang, 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 as it sounds like from behind one of these soldiers is running up. Since they saw both of you, there's one that's laying there.
Yeah. She's going to continue on, just trying to stay out of as much as possible.
Okay. So you go back to... Well, the only other way to go is to back into that chamber that you had exited from the test chamber. You might be able to hide somewhere in there. Dex stealth.
Yeah. So. Oh boy. It's gonna turn out wonderfully. Yep. Fail.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and re-roll them.
Sure.
Hey, 1.
You try and maneuver out of the way, and this this soldier comes in and is sweeping the that area. 1, 2, 3. Standing about 5 feet away from you, rifle up.
He spotted me, hadn't he?
Yep.
She's going to raise her hands and kind of just like a I'm not armed kind of thing.
Who are you?
Trying to think here. Allie. My name is Allie.
Yeah, in the corridor. Uh-huh. He's responding to something in an earpiece. Do you want to say or do anything else?
She's looking for a way to escape this, but if he's got her pin, there's not much she can do. She's gonna stay silent. Oh no, wait, there is one thing. She is going to, when he's responding to his earpiece, I forgot I can do this. throw her back to the side to get his attention over that way. Say forget and disappear down the other hall. So she is using cloud memory.
Okay.
So
What does
he'll
that
forget
require?
the get to it. So it doesn't require a rouse checker thing. No roll is required against an unprepared mortal. But if they're resisting, it's going to be a charisma dominate versus wits result. That's why she was kind of throwing the bag, is just to kind of get his attention elsewhere, so he's not prepared to try to make him forget the last couple minutes.
You don't need eye contact or anything?
No.
Okay.
But not cloud memory.
Okay, so you just give a command?
Yeah, just forget.
Okay.
And while he's not looking, she's going to away. So, if I remember correctly, and Derek, you can correct me on this, he'll remember he spotted her, but he won't remember finding her in that room and pinning her and essentially having her cornered.
Where are you running then? Are you going to go back down the corridor to where Rose is? Or do you want to go down the personnel hallway?
She's going back down the information hallway. If anything, he'll try to search down the other search around that area still.
Okay.
I'm trying to be clever, but there's not much to be clever with Ivy.
All right. You throw your bag of items that you've had. It distracts him. You implant the forget. And you get the... What? I swear she was just here. You're ducking back down this hallway. You don't hear the boots coming down this way yet. But you do know once you turn that corner that presumably there's this other one and Rose.
Yeah.
What are you doing, preparing, or planning? Because this corner's coming up really quickly.
She's going to peer around to see if he's paying attention to her direction.
All right, roll a stealth then. Dex stealth.
2.
Seems like he is not he doesn't see you peeking around the corner. Maybe you caught him looking down. He's standing over Rose, but he's not vigilant, or he's not holding a gun like he expected you, and like you round the corner and there's the barrel. He's if anything, he drug her to the door, and he's standing by the door that closed.
Does he have any other firearms?
Yes, he would have the sidearm, the 9mm that you found on other bodies.
Well, I believe I still have Silence of Death popped. I'm going to come up behind him, take the firearm, and try to put one in his head.
Well, there's not a behind him. What's behind him is the door.
Ah, okay.
He's
so
just
you
not
went back
looking
to
at you
the
coming around. So you can peek, you're not spotted, you haven't raised the alert. He doesn't see you right now.
The one time I don't have unseen passage. Oh, God. As long as he's not looking her way, she's going to try and get closer. Hopefully, hoping to, silence of death will keep her movements silent enough that he's not going to notice her.
Okay. Well, he doesn't really have any other way to look. So...
I mean, he could have been focusing on Rose still, just making sure she doesn't. But... she's just going to have to continue forward. Because otherwise she's pinned between him and his buddy. And eventually she will be found.
Okay. As we come back here, Mr. Pitch is crumpled in a hallway. There are 10 security coming up here. We have Pal and we have Sarge. And Clyde wanted to run forward. Now, you did shoot Sarge, but you still want to run up and...
Yep. I can use fleetness, as this is a non-combat dexterity test. And essentially what I'm doing is I am speeding on over to Sarge, putting my gun in front of his, or to the side of his scalp, or wherever, just next to his head, and I'm going to pop Daunt and give them a very clear threat. Stop firing, nobody move, or he's dead. Where did I hit Sarge?
Well, you didn't make a cold shot, so... Unless I missed it. You did? Well, then
Dome. Dome is a very specific word.
Okay, then you hit him in the head.
Oh, he's already dead. Really? 4 dice? Okay.
I mean, he was crumpled against a machine, and you shot him in the head.
Okay, well, does he look dead?
He looks dead.
He looks dead. And they're still going to be firing?
Yeah. This is the security troop came in here. They're on high alert. 2 strangers just walked into the room that don't look like them.
Okay. Shit. So...
For what it's worth, you have Pal in between you and them.
Is Pal high security? Is he of a higher or
he's actually
degree than these other guys?
He's not wearing the same tactical gear that they are, and he never has. He's definitely been security as long as you've known him. He's not wearing the same stuff that they are. Your portraits are large compared to what's going on here, but this is...
Okay. Then I'm going to use him as a human shield. Same thing. Run up to him, gun behind his head, human shield him.
Okay.
So, this is a 50-50. Either they're all traitors, and they're going to continue firing, even to any next of command, any other individual with authoritative command, which I'm assuming is Pal, considering he was the first at Sergeant's side. or we're all dead.
Clyde is one to take a bet, a contest, a gamble, I suppose.
Yep. So, yeah, same thing. Run up to Pal. Daunt. Anyone does anything, he's dead.
Blondie, you're not making things better for us.
You're not making things better for yourself. He's just gonna like shuffle Pal over to slowly walk him back over beside Mr. Pitch. Now look, here's the deal. You're all gonna back off. It's a ceasefire at this point. You're gonna let me and my man go.
Hold off, men. Hold off. Blondie, shit is fucked. I don't know what you think you're doing or how you got out. Or whatever that thing is in the hallway. But you can't be here.
Did he say be here or leave here?
How am I having a raid alert go off if I don't have the widget installed on this scene? Alright, anyway. Hello, Raiders! The Liching Hour, welcome! Sorry, welcome to you! So, as we're having this moment, though, my alert went off, so it was difficult to hear. Hello, shout-outs to you, thank you for coming over. We're in an intense moment, so hold on tight. Alright, I'm sorry, what were you saying, Clyde?
Did you say leave here or be here?
You can't be here.
Okay. Well, if that thing is a problem for you, how about this? How about this for good news? We might know what the fuck it is. We might know how to deal with it. And the best chance to keep it locked away and not at any other human being's hair ever again is if you let me and my people go. We leave. All together.
Where are your people?
This man right here. Me, this man right here. 2 girls in another room. You, pal, you're coming with me. And he just he pats his face lovingly.
You can see yourself in his mirrored sunglasses.
And he can see himself in mine. Actually, no,
beautiful.
He's gonna take the glasses. Clyde has been naked this whole time, so he's gonna yoink the glasses and put them on.
And as you do, he closes his eyes and he looks away. He's not stopping you from taking them, but I don't know, could just be procedure or something. But so you have this moment where you now have 2 pieces of clothing. You have a jacket acting as a loincloth and some mirrored aviators.
Stylin'. Straight stylin'.
I don't think that any of you will be leaving here. Not if I have anything to say about it. And I have a lot to say.
Oh, it's that bitch, isn't it?
And coming from behind you is the body of Sarge.
I'm sorry?
Who stands up And expressly from the gunshot wound in his head starts leaking black fluid. Almost like an extension of his black hair that you see. From his nostrils, from his mouth, his ears, his eyes. Really, the form that he had doesn't really matter anymore. As more of him than what should have been inside that body is now spilling outside. And he starts growing in size. The 10 over here with their weapons.
Yeah, okay, and Clyde's just gonna grab Pal and just drag him, throw him down the hall, and he says, go, 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 and he's gonna pick up Mr. Pitch, throw him over his arm, army style, as best he can, and he's just gonna start dipping. He's not here for this. That is not the plan.
The sounds of these same bullets that just dropped Mr. Pitch like they were nothing sound and have the effect of skipping pebbles on a placid pond as mouths begin to open all over this creature. And we can insert a couple Wilhelm screams as there's no longer 10 security guards in this room.
Just hauling ass down the hall with Mr. Pitch over his shoulder, Pal probably slightly behind him.
You start running and there's screams and gunfire until there is no more that you can hear. As you're coming up on the end of the hallway, you are getting to the door that couldn't open all the way because of the impact from the inside, from the side that you're currently on.
Okay. So Clyde is gonna shove Mr. Pitch through immediately, with as much effort as he can, and then he's gonna push Pal through. He's gonna look at Pal and say, drag him out of the way, give him some of your blood. Beat the man. He's better on his feet than not.
Are you compelling him to do this?
I don't have compel.
Okay.
This is we're both in trouble if you don't do this.
Well, from the other side of the door, so you have Mr. Pitch. You flop him down, so once more he lands indignantly as gravity takes hold. You shove him under. From the other side of the door, there's a slightly distant, what the? From a voice. Yeah, I just have a Pal rolls under the door in this moment. I mean, you might be saying, I give him blood, and he's under.
Okay.
Clyde?
Okay, and if that thing still isn't there yet, Clyde's just gonna quickly maneuver himself also underneath the door. But he wanted to make sure that the other two got through first.
There's an echoing scream, an otherworldly many-mouth scream coming from distant around the corridor. But the other two, I mean, you shoved Mr. Pitch and...
Yep. All right. So once I'm underneath the door, Clyde is going to, just crawl back underneath. He's going to find Mr. Pitcher, and he's just going to drag him aside and really quickly just, juice, like a Capri Sun, just squirt blood directly from his stump, Vitae directly from his stump into Mr. Fitch's
It's
mouth.
like milking it into. Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
He's like, I don't know what else to do at this moment. Ah! And he's gonna return back to army pickup Mr. Pitch, throw him over his shoulder, and desperately continue running. He's just
Pal?
pushing everyone along. Whoever is there on the other side, I don't care about him.
Pal continues the roll that he started from under the door. He springs up, and he has his own rifle as well. He springs up and sir, right into this guy's head.
What? Really?
Yes. Go to the computer room. Get the others. I can bring him.
Okay. You got him? Okay. All right. Look. He's gonna look at the body of this man that just fell over instead, rather than feeding Pitch his Vitae directly, because that would be not great for Pitch. I think what Clyde will do instead is he's going to very quickly take off the helmet of this man and try and get hit, like, have his blood, like, have him overhang over Pitch so that some of his blood drips into Pitch's mouth. However that can be done is...
Okay.
This is very extenuating circumstances, but Clyde just needs to make sure Pitch is back on his feet, because carrying him around everywhere is not the most optimal.
You start the setup. Pal
You're
comes
muted again.
over, holds
You're
the
muted again.
effectively decapitated soldier
You're muted
over
again.
Pitch. Oh, I'm muted?
You're muted again.
How am I muted? Hello? Hello?
I
Can
was
anyone
hearing
else
him.
hear him?
I can hear you all. Chat, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't hear anyone. It's a me problem.
Ah,
Tech issues.
Yeah, I can hear him.
All right. He holds the soldier over Pitch. Blondie, go.
All right.
Hit the door before you do, though. He signals to the panel that for the bulkhead that's still half open.
Okay. Yeah. Clyde's gonna hit that, and if Mr. Pitch is getting blood in some way, that's good.
It ain't your flavor, Pitch, but you're being doused in some brain matter. Maybe it's spiced with a little spinal fluid, and you have a guy who's being Capri Sunned over top of you right now.
All right. I will then spend 2 willpower so I can keep it down.
Yep.
And now I need 3 rouse checks. Failed. That's about right. Okay, so I would have. Okay, that puts me right back to 5 hunger, but
there's 1 success in there.
yeah, but it's a severed head. You're not gonna get a full, and it's not me actually killing a victim. I'm just using cooling blood at this point, so it's relatively disgusting, even by normal vampire standards. Far less the highfalutin standards of a Ventru.
This is so suboptimal for Mr. Pitch, but
Yeah.
Sorry, pal.
Yeah, he looks like he's about to throw up. When he does, they'll finally come back. You can probably see an eyeball hanging out as like a portion of his skull has been blown away. You'd end up seeing the exposed ribs, bits of his lung are currently poking out of exit wounds in his back. intestinal tract is more flopping along his knee. He's not good. He's not good, shall we end up saying, as he kind of ends up going through almost like he wants to spit this out as he tries to end up coming to, takes one look and has no idea what the hell this situation is.
While you're spending this time recovering with Pal in this neutral room here, we have down the hallway. Ivy, you hear from down the corridor that poof, 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 that burst of fire. And as you're turning around, of course, the soldier hears it as well. As you're trying to wait, all right, just look down at her. I don't know, like kick her with your boot. Just stop looking in this direction. Stop looking at me. You're waiting for your opportunity. You're not sure what to do. And both you and this guard hear the thu-thu-thu-thu. And both of you, at least the guard starts running this way towards the bend where you've been hiding. You, because you're already there, Ivy, can see, of all people, a very messy-looking Clyde is starting to dash up the hallway.
Can I trip the guy running?
No, Mr. Pitch. If you want to wait for him to catch up, you can try and ambush him. Otherwise,
I'm gonna wait till he gets by me, and I'm gonna try and trip him.
Okay. Go ahead, and I guess that would be strength brawl.
Yeah, I'll give that a shot.
And 3. All right, so he starts rushing up. Are you tripping him? Are you clotheslining him? How do you want to?
I'm trying to trip him, make him fall forward. So.
All right. So you stay put. You kind of brace yourself, and you hold your leg out nice and firm. He rounds the corner. Clyde, you saw there's Ivy. She's at this junction ahead. The tunnel only goes in one direction as far as you can tell. She's staying put, but she's kind of looking over her shoulder. She holds her leg out. Ooh la la, she's showing you some ankle, like, hey, come here, big boy. And you see a man in tactical gear come around the corner and trip over her leg. So he falls flat and is on the floor by Ivy. What are you doing? You're still a distance away, but and he's right there on Ivy. Like if he rolled over, she's point blank to.
Ooh, I don't recognize this guy, do I?
He looks like the other security soldiers that you've seen.
He's a mug, he's blood. That's what he is. He's a blood bag now. Clyde is going to if fleetness is still active, he's zooming on up and he is just going to whip this guy's helmet off, and fangs are gonna go in. Actually, no. He's just gonna whip this guy's helmet off, and he's gonna probably... Oh god, I don't even know how to respond to this.
A bite would be difficult. So with the tactical vest, like he does have a collar, he does have a helmet on. You would have to strip him down some, or otherwise like somehow like pin him and open up like the top of the vest if you're trying to drink from him. It's not an easy bite up front.
Do I see Rose further down the hall?
Not at this moment, because he tripped in the intersection, and you're looking at him on the corner. You haven't rounded the corner to see Rose at the end.
Okay. If I haven't rounded the corner, I don't know yet, then chances are Clyde is just going to use the simple answer, and he's only used 1 bullet of his 3, so he's going to pop one off.
Okay, you're gonna run up and just shoot him right in the face.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Cold blood is still blood.
No. Meanwhile, back 1 room behind you, Mr. Pitch is gonna disagree with that. But well, I maybe won't disagree fully. But anyway, all right. So he goes to roll over and presumably light up Ivy. But you almost like the Roadrunner, just like you're right there, and you have the 9mm down, and boom. He was already on the floor. He already tried to stop getting tripped up. You're there, and you're acting in cold blood to deliberately murder him. May God have mercy on your soul, but I'm giving you this free kill. So you have ended this guard.
The second that Ivy sees that he's done, she's gonna grab a leg. Come on, help me get him over to Rose.
Oh shit, not her too. All right.
Oh, I gotta share, Mom.
He's not leaving any man down. Clyde is gonna grab a leg, and he's just gonna start dragging this guy as fast as he can.
Right, yep. You guys drag him down like a wishbone, almost ready to split him anyway. So, all right, yep.
Whip him on top of Rose there, and just with the neck, so it splits open just a little bit more, enough for all that blood to start oozing out right onto Rose's face. Very beautifully, nice new paint job.
Yeah, well, I mean,
hope you don't mind.
Rose, you're painting the roses red, so there you go. From this, well, Rose has a little bit more recovery. So while you are conscious and don't need special stuff, how much of this juice are you taking for yourself, Clyde?
You were kind of breaking up there. I didn't catch the full question.
Is Clyde? Clyde, what do you want off the top? You just want to take 1 point and then leave the rest for.
I want nothing.
Oh, you want
if
nothing?
Someone is already.
Okay.
Yeah, if someone else is already down, I'm confident enough in my ability to evade further damage.
All right. So then Rose needs to go through the restart process. Mr. Pitch, having freshly done that, if you can walk Blue Joy through that, so I don't have to spend time looking that up in the rule book, since I don't know off the top of my head. But we also will have Mr. Pitch shambling up, much like a zombie, entrails and everything, maybe even groaning down this hallway as he's just as he approaches and Pal is sticking next to him.
Clyde is astonished. Oh my god, he didn't eat him.
Very good, then.
I'll take that for venture fortitude. Alright.
Blue Joy didn't drink someone dry. She is down like Mr. Pitch was.
Okay. So, with the available blood, what you would be doing is you're going to, because your whole health tracker right now is inaggravated, you're going to drink what blood you end up getting, and you're going to rouse 3 times. Those 3 rouse checks are going to tell us how much blood it's going to take for you to heal 1 aggravated damage, but that's the only health point you have for the remainder of this game. Because it did take, you can only heal 1 aggravated each night. So, Mr. Pitch and you are currently going to be at 1 health state and 1 health state only. Making it a very precarious situation.
Very.
Yeah, so that would cut, this whole thing would cost you Here, 2 blood to heal that 1 aggravated, and now you are 1 health.
Does any of my hunger get reduced from getting blood?
Therein lies the ST question on how much blood we're allowed to get, because if you didn't.
These
drink
are
the
hale and
body
hearty
drink-
soldiers who are freshly cracked open. So I don't mind that your hunger is slaked again. I mean, you aren't saving them from anything, and you're fine taking every drop from them. So between you and Pitch, if you want to put your hunger back at the normal hunger 1, since you didn't drink them dry to kill them, I'm fine, because that was all the blood. That was all the blood in a very large, healthy, vibrant body.
Okay.
So then I
What-
would be at 3 then at the end because the 2 failed
Yep.
rouse checks.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
is exactly it.
Which I suppose, given their moods, will either of you benefit from? I forget the 4 names off the top
Resonance.
of my head. Yeah, from it would be like aggressive resonance.
Choleric.
Choleric, yeah.
I wouldn't.
I think mine is melancholic
Okay.
Yep.
that I benefit from.
Depends on what powers you have, but that sounds about right.
Pal breathes a little bit of exhaustion here, and right. Well then, let's go check on the good doctor. He takes his security pass and he holds it to the door. Beep beep beep. Override. There is a woman sitting at a large series of computer terminals. You can see that on some of the displays, there's a feed from the personnel room, for those of you who are in there and know what it looks like. There's also some different feeds from other places throughout the facility. And as she turns around, for the 3 of you who've never seen her before, you see an Asian lady, though she has part of her face has scarring, some sort of distortion, and her eye is blue compared to brown.
Clyde is gonna just grip Ivy's hands. And she's probably the only person who will be able to tell that he's shaking, but everyone else can just see he's got a snarl on his face. He is not happy to see her at all. He's containing it. Basically almost like, in a weird way, like using Ivy as a grounder.
Well, ain't this just a quinky dink?
No
All right.
coincidence, sir. There's no coincidences. Everything, it happens for a reason. It wouldn't make sense if it didn't happen for a reason.
Mademoiselle, Mr. Pitch, you are.
I think I'm about done with this place, is what I am. And from her pocket in her lab coat, you see that she's holding onto a 9mm gun.
And he immediately says, "Stop. That is a compel."
stops.
Well, he walks over and just grabs hold of the pistol, pulls it out of her hand. Tosses on over to Rose. Man, I can't have you here going doing something foolish like that.
It's not foolish. It's the only way out of here.
I very much doubt that. You look like a well-educated woman. Pardon my lack of decorum at this given time, given the pressure upon, but...
Then pardon mine, stranger, but I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
You want to get out of here, we can help with that.
The camera in the personnel room goes out.
Ma'am, you know where we are on the layout? Your best chance of getting out of here. And preferably avoiding that thing you got crawling down the halls.
No. The way out was that room. You took my only way out. She is definitely, she's 12 cans short of a 6-pack right now.
That's
Like,
fine.
none of you need to roll anything to see that she is unhinged. Even for you, Clyde, that you've never seen her act this way before. Like, she is not the same at all.
Yeah, it doesn't feel that good on the other side, does it? Trapped in a fucking cage.
Are the computers behind her active?
They are.
Mr. Pitch, could you get her out of the way?
Oh, darling, he grabs hold of her with what's left of a match in his hand. Will you please step this way?
Are you telling her to step this way?
If she's gonna make me.
She is.
Very well then, let me solve this since we're not getting any information out of her at this point. I am going to end up using Mesmerize, along with Submerge Directive.
Is this anything a mortal can resist?
If they're completely aware as to what the power is, yes, but difficulty. And the Mesmerize makes it very clear that she is to guide me wherever I ask. If I ever ask her for a direction to anything, she will walk me to it.
All right, let's roll our contested rolls then.
Okay. That's not what I wanted to. Why will it not let me roll it? Disciplines, roll, there we go. Manipulation, rolls, there we go. That's 3.
Okay.
That is submerged directives. It has a trigger and will go as frequently as I wish it to be, or until I insert a new one. In which case, I said, "Would you be able to show me to the door?" In which case, she doesn't have to open it or anything like that. She's just going to suddenly go blank, walk out of the way, walking towards the door, and I will escort.
Okay. The good doctor and the good Ventru make their way out of the lab back into the hallway, leaving Rose, Ivy, Clyde, and Pal in here, unless anyone want to follow out.
Alright. Now, I assume into the computer.
Other cameras are starting to wink out.
Maddie.
What?
Had she been logged into the computer?
She was sitting at the computer.
I guess the question is, did she log out before
Yeah.
she started her mad tirade?
Right?
You are going to have to work for it.
Okay.
Hacking specialty, I think, comes in.
Now, do either of you two...
Second.
Six successes. And you know
Alrighty.
what? Just for the laughs of it, I'm gonna roll those 2. Making that 7.
That is an almost impossible task. Succeeded.
All right. You are able to disable the flying toaster screensaver with a password and make your way into this computer. And
now, she is... Go on.
Nope. You say first.
She is looking for any sort of layout, any sort of notes on escape routes. They need to get the fuck out of there.
Ooh. Look for the info, too.
Yeah, and the info at the same time. Considering how high of a success that was.
Just fax it to the tower directly. Oh, fax it to your sire. Paper trail.
He's gonna look at it and go, what the fuck?
All right. So the computer drops to the whatever the natural state that it should be in, the desktop here. And as that happens, this will not play through Roll20. But through the intercom, something happens. And that will play in just a moment. Get back over here, bring up a note. Bing bong.
Attention, all personnel. The light containment zone decontamination process will occur in T-minus 15 minutes. All biological substances must be removed in order to avoid destruction.
All biological substances must be removed to avoid complete destruction. Among a very light and lovely charm. Not the blaring, wow, wow. It almost sounds like elevator doors opening up. Bim bum.
Hold up, Maddie. There might be a troubled stream.
I did get a disconnect notice.
Ah, so it's not just me.
Nope. Ah, shoot. So, this is what is going to play. I'll send it to you because you can't hear it through the stream, unfortunately. But I'll put it over on Discord.
I imagine it sounds very much like the Japanese railway system where it's like, ding, ding. Which is very pleasant.
A decontamination process will occur, and all biological materials must be removed lest they'll be destroyed. Now, there's a very heavy implication that this is going to be done with nuclear energy means, given the specificity of what has been advised to be removed and the context clues that all it took was a simple rerouting of some vented heat in order to bake the prior containment area that you were in.
Okay, just as a heads up, stream is down again.
I will try to stop streaming, and I will try to reconnect at some point if it can. And it's still recording. It says stop. It's still giving me the stop streaming button. It says stopping stream. Oh, start streaming? Can I start to stream? Let's try this again. All right. Let's try this again. Double check with a refresh. Okay. Hopefully that works. Otherwise, since we're towards the end here, I'm going to continue on, and people can watch it in the VOD or on YouTube later. So, a 15-minute timer pops up, as well as a note, and the note is worded, "This is inconvenient. It appears that I and the site director Archivon have both been compromised, as we would be the only ones to be able to stop what happens next. In that case, it appears that protocol dictate the facility is cleansed and research dumped for retrieval. What a waste. This alien species showed so much potential. Whoever finds my research will certainly not hear the last from me. Presuming anyone is alive to hear this, I suggest you evacuate while you can. It's nothing personal. With knowledge comes power, and with power, the responsibility to wield it wisely." It's not quite as snarky or making fun in the Dennis Nedry sort of way, but this does seem to be a personal note, and it is read in that same detached digital recreation voice of this same scientist. And as you're sitting at this terminal, Ivy, you can see that the data is starting to be collated to be sent off site. The countdown has begun from 15 minutes as well. So, you're faced with several options. Now, Mr. Pitch and the good doctor are out of this room in the hallway with the corpse of one of the guards. This is I'm going to say that Yeah, Pal, you, Clyde, and Rose are still in the computer room. What are you doing?
Can you reroute the download?
Yeah, I was about to say she's gonna try and reroute the download to destroy it instead. Because she doesn't have a place to send it to, unfortunately.
That's okay. We got our data.
While Ivy's doing that, Rose is looking for the actual hard line, like fiber, Ethernet, whatever, to see if Ivy doesn't succeed in what she's doing, because Rose doesn't know what she's doing. She's looking for the actual physical connection to rip it out.
Oh god, we ain't got a lot of time. And Clyde's gonna look at Pal. There's got to be another way out, man.
There is. I don't know what it is you have to do here. It apparently is important, and I would rather make it out and not have that happen to me. Like, he gestures in the direction of what happened to the doctor there. I don't know how long you need. You can have 5 minutes, and then I think that should be enough time for us to escape.
Give it 3.
I like your optimism, Blondie.
I just need to get this information destroyed. That's it. And if I can't do it through here, well, we can destroy cables on the way out.
Well, whatever you're doing, make it quick. 5 minutes.
Leave this in your capable hands, then, ma'am.
And Mr. Pitch does Pal makes his way through the door out to Mr. Pitch and the doctor as he's he walks down to the corner, and whatever he expects to do, he's just trying to keep an eye out. Maybe he's just doing something to try and cope. You have 5 minutes, Ivy. Minute 1. Make a hacking check.
Yep, that's what I figured. 4. Willpowering 2 of those. I've got willpower to spare.
Clyde's gonna join Mr. Pitch. He's gonna look at the doctor. He's just gonna give the most smug, shit-eating grin at her as she's still losing her mind. And then he's gonna return back to business to Mr. Pitch. Cal says there might be another way out. I don't think he knows where it is, but she might.
Any way to specify that particular way out? Name or anything of the such?
Who are you asking, Pitch?
I'm asking Clyde at this point.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't have a specific question or direction to end up asking about. So I'm trying to end up going rather than, oh yeah, here's the main way that I was supposed to be going out that was blocked. Just trying to go, okay, well maybe it goes by another name.
Alright, so on that he's probably gonna return drag Pal over to ask him, have a conversation between them.
Alright. As this is going on, and Ivy, in this first minute, you're going through things, you're not sure, like, she used some sort of, like, clearly she's an organized person, but her organized chaos and yours are, but as you're going through, you're not finding anything right now related to vampires or Kindred or Clyde or anything along those lines.
No, she's changed her looking to just destroy the information going out.
Yeah, you're trying to dig through this organized chaos. So it's like going up to a toy chest and you're like, I'm gonna empty this toy chest, and you're saying, oh, that's a teddy bear. Oh, that's a thing, because you're trying to dig to this goal that you're reaching. Like, you're looking for something in a toy chest. You gotta throw out a bunch of stuff first. So, as you're doing this, there's some kind of, there's a file, there's notes, something on a delivery from Oklahoma, cities named Ames or Supply, whatever. Just you throw it out. You continue doing your thing in this minute. There's apparently some sort of plans. This organization is or is working with NASA and SpaceX. Some kind of a research probe called Emmet. Some sort of an asteroid catcher called Caradismuth. Whatever. Throw out the data. Minute 2. Next hacking check.
Alrighty. Four again.
All right. While you all are doing this, I need another. I do need another humanity check from you all. More human than human. Wow, 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 wow. Oh my gosh. Clyde,
I'm feeling exceptionally human right now, apparently.
yeah, well, it's all right. We'll twist that dagger later, I guess. Clyde, you're completely unaffected. Rose, you're fine. When it comes down to Rose and Rose and Ivy, both of you are just, what is going on? As this weird wave of lethargy washes over you again. How did we have?
I accidentally clicked remorse instead of humanity.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah.
I actually got
I needed
5.
something from Pitch. Pitch is in on this too. Okay. No, yeah, you're
I
fine.
wasn't. Yeah, sure.
All right. So Rose, or Ivy, you are not unconscious, but you are definitely, you hit some weird kind of. Things taste like 60 grit purple right now, and your fingers almost have that Ghost in the Shell scene where they like split apart and little fingers come out as you're just sort of like, Mr. Pitch, as you're hit by this wave. How is it already almost 3? There's no way that time passed. Now, Ivy, the countdown timer on the computer hasn't stopped from the 15 minutes, as we're now, we're into the second minute of you actively hacking. So there's, you still have a little over 10 minutes remaining. But that kind of, is going to, you have made successes. The next thing that you have been able to do, is halt the data accumulation and dump. Now, the question for you, as you've reached this far in 2 minutes of your 5-minute budget, do you want to push further and get the backup data for yourself, or discover even more? Or you've done the bare minimum by at least halting this dump off-site. If something's going to happen here, well, it'll be what it is, but at least it's not going to escape ahead of you all with data, like an accumulation and then a push out to some other place.
Go
ahead.
One last push to get the backup information for myself.
Okay. If no one else, at least Pal. Ma'am, how is that going in there?
Nearly there.
Pal, you said there might be another way out. Where? What way?
You'll have to follow me.
Alright. And he looks at, he's gonna look at the doctor. Did you know this way out too?
The doctor is not going to be responsive to you.
Cool. I
Where's
didn't
this
expect
way
much
out
from you
that
anyways.
he's talking about? Submerge directive.
I don't know. Probably no way that I've used. Probably some tunnel container or something like that. I don't know. It's not the personnel carrier.
Well, if Submerge kicked off and she don't know, then she don't know. Still useful information.
Mm-hmm. Ivy with 7
That is-
successes.
No, that's 9. That's
Oh.
2 tens dice.
Okay.
And I willpower just to make it stick, so... That
All right.
Oh my
well, fuck
God.
you too. All right. That's fine. That's cool. I didn't want to make this tense or anything. That's cool. No, I'm actually.
Ivy's just like, here, let me just hack into the Matrix itself. Let me
I
just
wrote
subvert
bonus
reality.
goals in case this happens, so you are going to get some juicy treats for going above and beyond. All right. So with this amount here in the 3rd minute in, you have halted, and you are starting you've stopped the accumulation in the shared folder or the dump. You've been able to get that information to collate onto a drive here that you can fetch. Now, that will still take a little bit of time. There's you've done it, but you can't hack the processor to go faster, presumably. Okay? Even with that many. However, while you're there and you need to wait at least another minute for the data transfer to the drive you can take is going on, you're still pulling toys out of the toy box. You find a series of medical notes, and these are things that would be outside. I'm oversimplifying this. I'm not a hacker or whatever. This would be outside the scope of the official data collected, okay? That you are routing, that you are now accumulating so you can take. This is in a private, extra locked. You actually are looking in someone's tax receipts 2013 because everyone's like, oh, it's so boring. They're not going to look at my porn folder. I called that. Well, you went into the porn folder and you found the juicy stuff, namely this information. There are notes from this doctor about the process of researching and creating, at least attempting to, some kind of artificial blood, as well as harnessing its ability to act as a conduit between living material and non-living material, prosthetics, cybernetics, things along those lines. We're talking about infusions that theoretically you could operate some sort of biomechanical thing with, or some sort of cybernetics that use the conduit of this artificial blood. And overall, that this is done in the guise of space research, for being able to have replacement blood for people who are hurt in space, where there's not a lot of people, there's not a lot of donors, etc. But this person is working on research to create viable artificial blood that could also have some sort of extension to, for biomechanical reasons, not just medical research that you would find at like the Cleveland Clinic or these other biotech firms in Cleveland. Now, I will leave this up to you. Do you want this information to go with you, or do you want this information to go bye-bye?
Did it say anything about any downsides to it?
There's always side effects. You've also just been through a haunted house of misery and experimentation. So this is your call. This is complete. This is up to Ivy here, because what you're doing is far and above beyond anyone else's ken.
Yeah, if it's not going to add any more time, she's definitely taking it.
Okay, so you want this data on the drive that you're going to take?
Oh, yes.
All right. Bim, boom. Another minute has passed. You're waiting and waiting. Ivy, it should have been complete. It's been on 99%. It's still on 99%. Bim, boom. Pal comes in. We can't stay. It's been 5. We need to go now. And the 99% goes to 100.
She's going to pull the drive and start heading over.
Now, Rose, I'm sorry if it disappoints you that it was a simple, like a thumb drive removal. Though, I promise you, you found some very juicy cables you could have salvaged, if it came down to it. And maybe you still can on the way out if you're really spiteful towards them, but Ivy's given the all clear.
Yeah, as long as Ivy says that that she accomplished her task, Rose isn't going to waste any time. She just wanted it as a backup just in case.
By the way, a couple of these other corridor cameras and stuff should have gone out during those minutes, but I got so wrapped up in this. As this thing is simultaneously, I guess, filling several rooms, or something is going on where it's expanding to different zones at the same time in this base. But
oh, we're good. We're leaving.
Ivy has it?
Yep. We're leaving.
All right. So, we go back. We go back out. Well, this isn't quite the proper slide for it, but that would have been. There we go. You're making your way out of the data storage, computer processing. And bim, boom. Bim, boom.
Light containment zone overall decontamination.
Overall decontamination in 10 minutes. Once again, you are notified that especially all organic material should be removed. Whoops, that is the drawing tool and not the select tool. Mr. Pitch, what are you doing with your puppet?
We're bringing her along. All it takes for me to ask her to point something out in a general portion of the room, and I can operate her wherever the hell I want. As long as she's in earshot.
Okay.
Submerged directives a bugger like that.
All right. Follow me then. Probably would make sense she doesn't know about this. Not that she'd ever care about the average employee. And he takes you down corridors. I'm going to reuse this one because this is a convenient corridor that was already up. And as you're running through the facility, you stop by one of the doors. He opens it, and there is a set of gnashing black teeth that are just on the other side. And before it goes out to grab, he slams it back down, and there's just a thump, thump. Oh, fuck me. All right. do it that way. If you're good with crawling, there's something else that we can do.
As long as it gets us the fuck out of here.
All right.
Agreed.
He goes over to effectively like a maintenance area, and he strains and he opens it up. Nowhere else to go but follow me. He gets down and he starts crawling forward very briskly. He's not like a big built guard like the other like super tough guys here. I mean, he's strong, but he has a smaller frame, and he's definitely not like some walking upside down triangle. But so he squats down and he scuttles into the maintenance area. As you all follow. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, at some point during all this, Rose would take that gun that Mr. Pitch handed her, that he took from the scientist lady, and give it to Ivy. Assuming that she probably has at least some skill with firearms. Rose does not. She's a grabby, fighty girl.
The reason why Ivy had a gun was just in case. She has no skill with firearms.
Yeah, but now you have at least some way to protect
Light
yourself.
containment zone overall decontamination.
Like the
in
unfortunate
T-minus
heavy here.
5 minutes.
Bim boom. Overall decontamination in T-minus 5 minutes. As you're going.
All right, I don't want to be blown up. Let's go.
Now, this takes you back to. This is taking, well, for Clyde and for, well, even for Pal and Mr. Pitch, this is taking you back to the maintenance bay. That still does have. It's not filled with this black stuff, but almost like the cables that you see here. There's still tendrils, and you might see like a mouth, just almost like a drip of water down a spider web. You might just see a mouth just sort of drip down one and disappear into a pool. If we can get out through those doors, that will get us out of here. It seems to be otherwise expanding or something, but there's enough of a presence that it's going to be a fight or a distraction or something that's needed.
It's gonna be me doing something stupid. That's what it's gonna be. All right.
He doesn't say Clyde. Blondie? I won't stop you, but I believe that there are others who might be able to provide a distraction for us. And he nods his head, I don't know, forwards or backwards. It'd be backwards in line because he would have been towards the front and in a follow me sort of thing. To your prisoner, perhaps?
No, we need her. Here's the thing. I'm optional. I'm a bonus. I recognize that. But I'm not gonna let anyone else here get fucked over by my mistake. You all wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me.
Clyde, she's holding up the thumb drive. I have the information here. We can let her go. This, the tower can do a lot more with than her.
He looks at her. And he looks at Pitch.
We're wasting time. We could be running.
Boom, boom. 4 minutes.
I don't have... Fuck. It's more complicated than that. Look, if we get back, I don't have a bargaining chip. Whether you have that info or not, she's my bargaining chip. She's the only reason I'm gonna get out with the tower. She doesn't survive. I don't. So I'd rather it be one or the other. Quite frankly,
It's bargaining chip. That's the thing.
but she can't run like me.
You're muted, Derek.
Tick-tock, Mr. Clyde. Tick-tock.
I'm gonna rouse. We're going fleetness.
What's your
And,
plan then?
My plan is a horrible game of cat and mouse, and I just have to be quicker than this thing.
God.
I'm dead either way. I'm dead either way.
All right. Now let me bring up my monster manual here.
Your monster manual. Oh no.
I told you.
All right,
All
so
right.
we are on page 306 of the Call of Cthulhu rulebook. All right.
Wow. Clyde is not a hungry
Can't get
boy.
much more alien than something from a completely different system.
Oh god.
Shoggoths are among the most horrible and loathsome of mythos monsters. Mighty sacks of protoplasm, roughly 15 feet in diameter. This one got fed. Anyway, details aside, let me just tuck that away. I think we're going to ad-lib this. You want to go zoomies around here and try and distract the tendrils and mouths?
He's got a gun. He knows how to piss it off. And in addition to that, he's very quick. Clyde is confident. He wants to make sure that they have all the time they need in order to get past the door.
Okay.
That's that.
Then I think it's time to go Sonic here, Clyde. If you're gonna have to be the first one out to do that whole like, "Hey, eat me," and then you run around and try and keep this facility spanning thing from getting to you.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and do it. I am using dice pool. I'm gonna be adding my fleetness in order to defend, essentially. So that adds 2 dice to this equation.
Okay.
Did you ever use the fickle favor that you got earlier?
I have not. I've been saving it. Just in case.
All right.
Just in case I have one bad roll.
As you go out and cause a distraction to allow the others to spill out of this little maintenance tunnel and run across to the doors where Pal has a security badge to open. I need you to try and mitigate. 1, 2, 3. Oh, starting out sleepily. Only 4.
4 is 4. And I will use that fickle favor now.
Okay.
Just so that the attacker does not beat. So that puts me at 5.
It was close. You start running around. In a sense, almost like taking some ballet lessons from Mr. Pitch when he was slipping on the entrails in the hallway initially. You round some corners. You're using the blood as a slick medium. All of you gasp, except the doctor, who's just sort of mind derped right now. As one of the mouths almost gets you, as it shoots out from the shadow, but you do a little pirouette, Clyde, and this is allowing the others in order to run across, while several of these tendrils are shooting out trying to grab the distraction.
Maybe, just maybe, Clyde looks like he's having fun.
Now I need the rest of you to navigate this slick surface, please, and that is going to end up being a let's go dexterity athletics to try and quickly not slip and slide on things. Unless you don't want to. If you want to be slow and purposeful, I won't call for anything, but you're being slow and purposeful. But if you're trying to tiptoe around, then uh-oh. All right, Ivy's slipping. Rose is
See,
there.
we could have had a human sacrifice. We could have, but I don't think it would have bought us the same amount of time as Clyde being obnoxious.
All right, can I get a pitch?
Yep. I'm working on it. I have to refresh.
Roll 20 is being attacked.
This is going to suck.
One success.
All right, the scientist, the doctor, and Ivy slip in the entrails and do not make progress.
Oh.
The primary attention of the creature, I'll say, is on a surprise here from this initial. I'm going to give you one more guaranteed round of keeping all of its mouths at attention, Clyde. And then, unless something happens with the rest of the group here, I have many mouths to feed, and there's only one of you. The others have spilled out into the main area and are starting to make progress. But let's see, we have Pitch ahead. Pal, you have zoomies. You're like over here. And then you're making progress as well, but these two haven't moved. Let's roll for this again, Clyde.
Okay. He's gonna make sure to keep this thing very focused on him by popping off a random shot at it. Not necessarily intending to succeed in harming it in any way, but just making sure it pisses it off. He knows it does nothing to it.
I was gonna say, if it helps your feelings, you're not harming it at all. So, but you are making noise. All right, you need to beat
Yes.
4.
4? Okay. And I'd like to willpower once.
Oh, was that your last willpower?
No.
Oh, all right then.
I have one more. That'll do.
Okay.
That
yep.
is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
6, 7, 8, because it's a crit.
All right. I need another check from the rest of you to make your way over to the door.
Yep.
Now, if any of you want to go back for the scientist, or go back to Ivy, or I don't know, use your turn to do something else.
I was gonna say, Rosewood, seeing Ivy and the scientist fall, can I run back and just like grapple them and shove them down the hallway using the gore as like a slip and slide to like get them out of the way?
Well, so go ahead. If you're gonna go back, go ahead and make that same test in order to make the progress to do so. A scientist would have been closer over here, but this is not to scale to the width of the room.
I'm just gonna roll a straight dexterity because it's faster. I don't have athletics to add to it, so.
All right, you run over. Well, in this case, so you run over and grab the scientist, but it looks like Ivy is able to make some progress here. As she gets up and slurps off some of the goop, you come back and pick her up. And if you want to use your muscles to huck her, you can on the next go around here. Bum bum. 2 minutes until decontamination. On this round,
Stop playing around.
Pal has his ID and he's over at the door, getting it ready. Let's see if you can distract. This thing. The good news for you, Clyde, is that if there are any disparities, I'll just attack someone else and this won't be piled onto you.
No, I'm here for it.
All right. So
he's being a decoy on purpose.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh man, the stars are not aligned for my horrible creature here. You need to beat 4, and any that you don't, I'm going to savage your friends. All right? Or you'll just do that too. All right, more of these things come out, and the two almost like collide as you like vault over them, and you skid around on a blood slick as well as the two mouths just almost like bite into each other, and then the mouths just disappear into each other, and the gloop like rises up as this thing is pulsing. But you can see that more of it is pulling in from other parts of this place, and it is now starting to get thicker, meaning that after this third round, I will be rolling more if it becomes relevant. So now, Pitch, you are up on the door. Pal has his card out and is getting ready to open it. Are you readying something? Do you want to do something?
Yeah, I'm gonna end up making sure that he doesn't decide to end up diving in here and then closing on behind us. This sounds like a very good opportunity to do so, especially if he has a interest in self-preservation.
All right, are you grappling him, or are you just getting comfy next to him?
I'm by, keeping an eye on, and getting ready to end up doing so. I might reach out and pull somebody in if they're needing that last few feet to end up getting to the door.
All right.
But
Ivy, are you skittering up this last bit?
Oh yeah.
All right, make that test. Unless I missed it. All right, no, I didn't yet. Go ahead and make it. Boop.
Hey.
All right. Rose.
Since I'm carrying the good scientist here, I want to rouse check. Oh, I got
Okay.
hungrier. To add some extra dice to my thing here.
Yep.
Want to make sure I'm not the one holding the group up. Oops. +2. Oh boy.
Oh.
Ah, okay.
You can willpower that one.
Yeah.
Have any left.
What? Will that stop me from ripping the scientist apart?
A willpower on that?
Nope.
No. All right, Rose, you're over
Sorry,
there,
Clyde.
and you grab her. I mean, she's kind of lethargic because outside of being commanded of what to do, she's already just kind of mind broken at this point. You know what? Maybe one for the road here. And all of you watch as Rose bites into the scientist. And what's
Is
that?
there any way I can try to resist totally draining her?
Well, you can resist if you wish. Although I'm going to make you a very interesting trade, Rose. If you don't, I will let you heal your ag damage. Biting
Okay,
into
so
her is a weird flavor. There's something really sweet going on here. I'll let you stay in control. You can slake one hunger, and there you go. But you're still damaged and such. Or, if you don't, I will heal you full, and I'll give you a full blood pool. Because, I mean, you're not gonna stop. That is my devil's deal for you.
Clyde has been on, like, Clyde's the one who brought Rose back from Torpor. She owes him. So she doesn't want to. He impressed upon them heavily that he needed this chick alive. She doesn't want to drain her.
Okay. You are going to then take on some animalistic features, and you won't be too vocal. What are you looking like right now?
Her claws or her hands kind of, the fingers elongate into like almost talons, and her eyes go like a weird, like she gets like that eye shine that owls have, and eyebrows kind of go a little longer and kind of bloop up at the outside edges.
Okay. The doors open, and as that happens, these are very blaring klaxons, not the gentle bim bom of imminent nuclear destruction that has been facing you this whole time. And as that happens, all these tendrils almost vibrate. The mouths are starting to twirl around to the source of this tremendous noise and rumble. Clyde, what's nice is I'm only going to use half the normal dice pool on you, because I'm going to try and do some other fuckery. So I will still try to attack you. What would you like to do, though? As you're swooping around, right? You went around here, you're over here. As you're swinging around, you saw that Rose bit into the scientist, but then she stopped, but her features are starting to distort.
If I have any more bullets in the gun, I'm gonna pop them off directly into this thing to redraw all of the attention back to me.
I believe you fired once before. You used the 3 bullets you had, because you capped Sarge. You killed the guard that was tripped, and then you fired before.
Yeah.
You can throw the gun. I don't know, maybe that'd do something.
I only have one quick option. Clyde is going to go quickly move over to Rose and this doctor, and he's going to use all of his power to throw them through the door. He doesn't have a lot on that, but I'm going to go ahead and rouse for it. And that is my first failed rouse check in this whole entire enigma, and fully accepting any damage he accepts in this process. He is
apparently none here, as less mouths are focused on you, but you've been able to dodge out of the way. Maybe you did something that it didn't expect, which was to go over here. But I had no successes on my half dice pool against you.
Okay. He's going to... I think in this scenario, would it be athletic strength?
Yes. Because you want to...
And 2 for the rouse. And I guess this is me using my last willpower.
Uh-oh.
because we need to re-roll that 3.
A vampire with 0 will. What's the worst that could happen?
He's spent.
Whew.
Okay, that's 4 successes.
Man, big
Does
Rouse
that-
Clyde over here.
Does that get these 2 out of here?
It is going to help. Now, the scientist is catatonic effectively. She's not helping. You're providing some momentum and guidance. I'm going to add this to a similar roll that Rose is going to make. So, Rose, I want you to do the same as you're trying to power through this. And then for the others who are up at the door, I will want some dodges from you as Ivy. I'm going, of my 5 remaining mouths, I'm going to send 2 at you. Looks like you have to try and dodge out of the way of one of them. Mr. Pitch, I'm going to send 2 mouths at you. Looks like you need to dodge out of one of them. And 1 for Pal, who seems fine. But yeah, Rose, go ahead. Athletics. Oh,
Is that a Dex Athletics again?
no. You're hucking. You're powering through this. It's like pushing off the wall in swimming. You're just using blood and viscera as your medium.
Yeah, strength athletics.
Can I use Strength Brawl?
This isn't brawl. This is just pure force. If you were like swinging from the mouths like Tarzan or something, maybe, but oh, nice. So Ivy manages to dodge. One, and then we had
Maddie,
4. Yeah.
can I have Rose succeed at a cost? Can I take the cost for her?
Yes.
Okay.
I will. There will be a story incident that will occur if you allow. If you like, because you're sort of like wildly pushing. You use the last of your willpower. We'll lean into that as you are a wild man. You can push these 2 over the line, but then that will leave you vulnerable.
That is acceptable because there is one key thing driving Clyde with great vengeance right now. Disloyalty is dishonor. He will never, ever abandon his comrades.
All right.
He can't.
Push! And if it makes you smile, Clyde, that wild push does at least send the scientist kind of careening into the side of this troop transport, or this vessel here. So there's kind of like a clung as you're playing curling with these 2.
Mm-hmm.
She's not dead. Her neck's not at a 90-degree angle, but there is a nice solid resonance that comes off that metallic clang.
Twang.
Yeah.
He's just like, music to my ears.
All right. So, going through. The doors had opened and you all are together. You start running through the facility as it is, the alarms are going off. It's a lot more ruder noises than your door is open, or pleasant chimes. Bing bong. 1 minute until decontamination. And from behind you all, as you're making your way through this area, you can hear many mouths squicking and screaming and making noises that are just out of this world. By the way, Mr. Pitch, did you ever make that dodge? From the one mouth that was trying to bite you?
That didn't go through.
No, I'm not seeing it.
Roll 20 does eat rolls time and again, so go ahead and
Alright.
give her a go.
Oh, no, wait, I see it.
Oh, is it up there?
Yeah, it's up here. He got one
Clyde,
success.
Clyde. Rose.
Yeah, it's all the way up.
That would have been
He
before
was
the
the
5
first one.
mouths, so I need one for
Okay.
after the split, yeah.
Well, I know that I didn't end up doing that.
Okay.
Success. Do I take any damage? That's the only thing I'm concerned about.
For a moment here, you don't take damage physically. Mr. Pitch, as this mouth does make contact with you, I will let you choose, as you are looking into things that you ought not see. Are you going to take, I guess that would be what, an aggravated willpower damage as your mind is stopped for a moment as you're seeing the depths of things that you never fathomed? Or I will eat one of your humanity and you can otherwise get away scot-free.
I will take the willpower damage. It's not even negotiable.
All right.
Fair choice.
Your ability to continue in this world, even in this world of darkness, is stutter-stepped. As this thing attaches to you, you're able to, to not get enveloped in it. But with this contact with this creature, maybe Ivy was next to you. She got 3. She shakes you out of it. Come on, Mr. Pitch, and you go. You're running. They're screaming behind you. Bum bum.
Light containment zone overall deep.
You have a minute remaining, and you do enter a loading and unloading area, a warehouse, as you'd been following the tracks. And there is some kind of a vehicle that's on the rails that's here. And along the side of it, it does say, one second here. Testing, piloting, operations, and transportation. Now,
A vehicle, you say?
a rocket-powered sled, says I.
Oh my god. That's a recovery of a willpower right there.
I will be happy to give you 1 willpower for seeing this.
Oh my god. I did achieve my desire, which was get a gun and get some shades, and I got both. So
As you
Little
see
drop off to
this,
cover the PayPal fees from a while back. Much love to Derozone.
thank you very much, Capo. Clyde, as you see that you all are in here, there's 1 minute remaining. You are in awe. Pal is next to you, puts a hand on your shoulder. This is your way out, Blondie.
and he just like a little kid, he just bounces over to it as fast as he can. He gets in that thing.
Yep.
Keys ready. Wait, are there keys?
No, but this, considering what this thing is, it's not really needed. This is definitely not some authoritative vehicle. This is something that apparently moves people, or at least cargo, probably conducts scientific tests at great speed. So we
Great speed, you say?
well, you need to get out of here and quickly. I mean, if you want, I'll give you that kind of like Austin Powers, like cement roller.
he just like, he jumps in, he looks over to Ivy, he's like, doesn't this bring back some memories, doll eyes? Hop in.
This is not like the boat. She's climbing up on board.
Hang on. Before you guys get climbing, I gotta get you on the map. There we go. Yeah, y'all are approximately the same size. All right.
It's going full now.
So, Clyde, you stop. There's a rocket sled. So he says, "This is your way out, Blondie." And he grabs you, and he pulls you in close, Clyde. And, well, you're wearing his glasses, although I don't think he's really upset about that. You probably look really good in them. And as you are looking into his eyes in this moment, where like he's pulled you in close, and you see, he can see himself in your eyes. There's something strange about them. His eyes, maybe he has a burst capillary like you. It's probably good that you're hiding it behind that. Except yellow blood? His pupils begin to narrow. For the rest of you who are maybe running forward to the rocket sled, getting ready to call shotgun, or Mr. Pitch approaching his puppet here, I will be taking the data. And then you may leave. And the voice starts out rather normally for how you presumed Pal had been speaking. But now you all see that Pal's growing. He's not the short, stout person that he was.
Oh, damn it.
Clyde, as he's holding you, you never remembered Pal was that hairy before. As it starts pushing out of his skin, and by your ear, his mouth begins to elongate, and you can feel hot breath.
Oh, damn!
I will be taking the data. You don't have to fear the humans having it, but I cannot let you have it.
Can I give you the woman instead?
Can what? I'm sorry?
Can I? He's just. Clyde is like, can we just give you the doctor instead?
The data. And he holds a very large clawed hand that can deal 8 ag damage per turn, coincidentally, over in Ivy's direction.
She's gonna start fishing around in her bag because the second they got back to that room, she picked her bag back up. She's gonna pull out a thumb drive.
Don't do
toss
it.
it over.
Nope. Clyde is gonna catch it and he's gonna send it to Mr. Pitch.
Clyde, you're not doing anything. I got you bound up right now, my friend. This is your story.
God.
This is your story.
Damn it!
I would like to pull a small trick here, though. It's not the thumb drive he thinks it is.
All of it. Like you're throwing
That's it.
everything.
God damn it.
Does Ivy have manipulation?
Very little.
Ah, why is she
I'm
all
No
in?
tricks. 30 seconds until site decontamination. You need to leave, and he is the one who can get you out of here.
You know what? Fine. She's tossing the bag over. We have the doctor anyway.
Clyde, he spins you around as he's holding you. I understood you more than you knew. Go. And I hope that we don't have to cross paths again. He picks Clyde up and chucks him onto the rocket sled. As he picks up Ivy's bag.
Clyde is indignant once more. But he's just gonna look at Pal and just give him a salute. He's gonna go into that rocket there. He's gonna drive that thing like no one has ever driven it before.
You hop in and things are starting to whir behind all of you.
Rose takes the catatonic doctor and straps her into a seat so she doesn't go flopping around.
Well, there's one seat. The rest of you are going to have to figure something out.
Are there
And
ropes around the area?
Huh?
Are there ropes in the area?
There were, yeah. You just don't have seats. There's some cargo stuff, some bungee cords or something. That's fine. But this is not a passenger vehicle, except for the test pilot. I mean, driver.
Grab rope. Tie yourselves down. This is going to be a hell of a ride.
20 seconds. And as that countdown goes, I want one more humanity check from all of you. As another wave of... Oh, something is lurching inside your all's consciousnesses. Okay.
2.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Or
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yep, Mr. Pitch. You get to ride that nuclear bomb all the way down.
Big, fat 0.
Ivy conks out, like just falls. Conks her head on some piece of metal, also sounding like the scientist who hit her head on that vehicle. As you gave Pal a salute, you get... he can't smile, so I guess you get a snarl. It begins with an S. I don't know. You get a lip that lifts up in the side. And just his powerful muscles bunch up, and he bounds off in another direction from this warehouse. And you all need to hang on.
Can I grab onto the doctor and now Ivy, since they're both catatonic, like wrap my legs around them and then hold on with one hand?
Yeah, we can have you try
I
and
have good
pretzel
brawl.
here. And the tracks ahead, or the doors ahead open up, and there's just this tunnel that goes downwards. And the lights are on, everything is flashing. And
Clyde says one more thing to
Yeah.
Ivy. He just looks to her. He's like, faster than a forklift, huh?
and you start rocketing down. Now it's sounding very weird because you are accelerating very quickly to a very, very fast speed that if you were not undead, that itself probably would have killed you. But fortunately, you've been through many tests, you've roused your blood a bunch, you've done a lot of things to toughen you up. And so having very quick G-forces applied to your body, especially you in the pilot's seat. However, as this is a decontamination that did just start behind you, regardless of what might have happened to Pal, some of these pipes along the way...
Yeah, that.
Start...
Sorry.
I mean, it's kind of appropriate. Fire starts pouring out of some of these, as perhaps some of this decontamination or prevention of anything getting out that shouldn't be out. By this point, you're going at least 200 miles per hour, and it hasn't been that long, Clyde. This acceleration, you wish. Maybe a part of you sad that you might never see this with any of your motor vehicles. But I need you.
So alive right now.
As you're navigating here, this sled, as it's navigating, you're coming up to the end of the tracks even, and several struts with wheels end up popping out and are now making contact with the sides of the tunnel. Maybe for stability? You're not just like on a salt flat with a rocket-powered sled. However, you're coming up to a gout of flame that very much is threatening to incinerate everyone on this no-horse open sleigh. So I need you to make a drive test to avoid this. And I'm looking for 2 successes on this.
2 successes?
Yep.
Is this the only drive test I'm going to be making?
No.
No. Okay. Drive what?
Dex. Well, hang on. This is... No, you're on rails right now still, so you don't need to worry about that. We can have this be, wits. As this is more instinctive. You're reacting to a visual stimuli. You can't really drive out of the way yet. We're going to get to that after you go off the rails. All right. So, as this happens, there's a control stick. I don't know. We're on rails, but as this gout of fire spills down, you hop the rails. And this thing, with the momentum it's continuing to build from the rocket engine, you all just loop all the way around, dodging this probably rocket fuel fire that would have otherwise scorched you. You are now off the rails, supported by 4 little struts and wheels that are keeping this rocket sled going in this round tunnel.
Clyde is just, like, screaming yeehaw all the way
I don't
through.
suppose it's supposed to do that.
More pipes are venting this fuel to try and desperately keep contamination from exiting. Now you're no longer on rails. This isn't just watching. You know that these explosions are happening. This is going to be a dex drive for you to dodge out of the way of this, and now I'm looking for 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah. As you need to get a feel for this thing. As you tilt it, you all will turn around and you'll do flips in the tunnel as you're propelling almost in a screwdriver fashion.
3 exact.
That was a close one. That was a scorcher, as they might say in Texas, Mr. Pitch. As the flame, I moved it to this side. We just barely made it. Ivy's not awake to really narrate to her. So, Mr. Pitch, fire almost grazes you as you are going upside down. You're now approaching 300 miles per hour as you're going through this tunnel. And there is just more. You, Clyde, are just... Okay, I have a feel for the controls. I need one last drive as we're coming to the end. And
cool.
This...
I'm gonna make it a good one.
This, since we're at the end of the tunnel, Because you can only go 300 miles per hour for so long without something else happening. But to super duper prevent any contamination from escaping, I really need you to make 5 successes or greater on this.
Okay, so drive what?
You tell me. You're escaping a tunnel that's blowing up around you. You're on this wheeled contraption fueled by a rocket. Driver's choice. But you gotta make it cool.
I like dexterity. Dexterity's fun.
Okay. Dex drive it is. I'm looking for 5.
Alright, I added the rouse, so that's another 2 dice. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, but one of those is also a crit, so we're at 6. Does that do it?
I think you got there. You managed
Ooh.
to not have anyone thrown off or scorched as you are looping. At this point, spinning around in the test chamber might have acclimated people to be able to hold on better as you're doing these exercises, as well as getting acclimated to the gravity, so you didn't face future punishment in the grand escape of this story. Now, the end is nigh. As you do twist in such a way that you're weaving between these venting rocket fuel jets, trying to scorch every virus, bacteria, anything else that was in there. And you are now ramping up very quickly. All of you feel your organs being pulled down as the G-forces are changing. You're not just in a quick, but a slow acceleration forward. Everything bottoms out as you start going topside. I would like, now, our driver, being behind the wheel is a little bit different. I would like the others to make a stamina roll, please. Let's see if measuring this kind of distension and force, as, you know, the humors in your body are shifted in dramatic ways.
Do I need to make that one?
Nah, you're plenty unconscious. Don't worry about it. We could probably say something really gross, like your eyes like really sink down into your skull with the pressure. Like you probably look like a depleted corpse for this time. All right, so Rose has Rose. But can I get one from Pitch, please?
Oh, sorry.
We're almost done.
Just straight stamina,
Yep.
right? One success.
That's fine. Boom! And you all bust through. As you are propelled upwards out of some tunnel, ramp, or something. You seem to be on the lakeside, though, as you're heading out over the lake. And as you all do, an interesting sight surrounds you. It's Cleveland. It's been a while since any of you've seen Cleveland like this, though. Hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people are out in the streets. The light is weird. and you all see it. And I'm playing some music on stream through the stream. An eclipse over Cleveland.
Sometimes I think, oh yes, I'd move to where all the shooting stars are gone.
And the sled's out of rocket fuel.
All of our wishes.
And you all are pretty much out of options, as your own momentum and inertia is starting to slow at the apex of your ascent,
So
as you're flying out over Lake Erie.
I will give me a key to love.
An interesting laser light show is shining from the top of Quick and Erie Loans. And in these moments, before you do realize that gravity exists once more, and you do plummet into Lake Erie, as you are a great distance above the water, looking down at the city of Cleveland. During the day, what are your thoughts? Why don't we start with Mr. Pitch? As gravity's beginning to take hold. And in fact, I'll give you a freebie. Your burner phone chimes. It looks like there might have been some backed up messages from your retainer. You hear the chime, indicating you have mobile signal again. But whatever you have it assigned as, you hear that as you've bust out and you're now in the air above the waters of Lake Erie.
Oh, it's a shame I'm not going to be able to pick that up. Water coming in quick and all.
You'll have poetic moments to do something if you want to make a very fast phone call or peck out a reply text or have a little bit of inner monologue. You're not falling yet. You're still on the ascent.
If I got the time. Guess I kind of take a quick look around, gain to figure about where I'm gonna probably be landing. Closest estimation. Looking back at it, there's only one number that really means a damn right now. That's the truth of it. So I end up calling Miss Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Well, texting Miss Lane an address. That's where she's gonna have to come pick me up. Given on the fact that most of my insides are now my outsides right now, and I'm about to be a corpse in the middle of Lake Erie. The rest of it, we'll handle it as time comes.
Ivy, you are perhaps blissfully unconscious. Though I'm sure some part of you hears a voice. Perhaps your dad. In this state, what do you hear in your mind? You may not have external stimuli going, but what internally is going on?
Internally, she's just grateful to have at least one of her friends back. Though helping him heal is going to be a bitch. Because, he decided to rip his arm off. But any voices she hears, she mumbles that, "Shut up."
Okay. Rose, you have very long seconds here before it looks like you're going to discover gravity's going to pull you down into the dark waters of Lake Erie. What are you thinking, seeing, feeling? What do you want to do in this moment, in this apex, during an eclipse where you see this city by night, by day? Once more, kind of out during the day. Oh, I can't hear you.
I look out over the cityscape and, my very first thought is, well, that's kind of pretty. Followed by, oh shit, this is gonna hurt. And then, like, okay, survival mode. Going through instructions that, like, her sire has drilled into her. Like, okay, when you land, do this. Secure your important assets, i.e. this scientist lady, make sure Ivy stays safe. Clyde and Pitch can take care of themselves. And, like, probably just thinking all of that sort of stuff until they actually hit the water.
I'm sure your sire would be proud you remembered that before you slip into the oblivion, teetering on 1 damage remaining. You didn't heal up, and you're falling quite a distance. But maybe in your heart, you know that your sire would be proud of you wanting to do this. You hope so, anyway. There's that little tingle in your blood that really hopes so. Clyde, at the front of the rocket sled, therefore the highest up, and the last to hit the water. What are you thinking in this moment? There's a total eclipse over Cleveland. You're seeing the streets by day, by night. Hell of a party going on down there.
He isn't thinking. He's saying. He takes hold of Ivy's hand, knowing full well she's quite unconscious. He just looks over the city, sense of relief washing over him. He says, "Doll eyes, if I make it out of court alive, will you marry me?" To which he's responded with, "Shut up."
Yeah, yeah, she's having that dream and she just... And one by one, well, I suppose if you're the highest, you'd technically be the first to fall, but our coterie has reached such heights. Oop, that wasn't the right one. I had an even better photo, I swears it. Anyway, you all splash down, and you are going to be taking an inexorbitant amount of bludgeoning damage. Hitting water is cool and all, but that's still going to feel like concrete. And so, you certainly have some good thoughts going through your all's minds before, maybe a bone of yours does, or a muscle rips off in the impact. We might have a fun little zoom in of those mirrored aviators of pals that you're wearing, Clyde. Of course, all of Cleveland can see up your coat, but whatever. But then as you sink down into both unconsciousness and the murky waters, and the moon starts to shift away, there is that blissful sleep. In fact, maybe as a mercy, as it begins its move, that final wave of lethargy and torpor hit you before you hit the water. And I think with that, with your sleeping bodies sinking down into the waters, as the sun will once more reveal itself, we will end one last day. I know we went over, it's a bad habit, but I appreciate your all's patience. For those of you in chat for coming back after the stream dipped out too. But thank you, and I hope that you enjoyed this presentation of Vampire the Masquerade and how it dipped into a couple other systems that I hope you'll have an interest in as well. But I think we're going to get going. If any new players want to talk, I'll be around too. But it's getting the sun's getting pretty low. Oh, the sun's getting pretty high here, Coterie. So we're going to take off for now. Bye, everyone. Have a good night.